Malotau lava mai, this is Pacific Waves from RNZ Pacific, ko au Koroi Hawkins. Coming up, Pacific leaders are arriving into Tonga ahead of a busy forum summit.
Without a doubt, Kanaka New Caledonia is going to be top of the agenda.
Also,
for us to really make it to the top, it's something special for us boys.
Nival Tokstorilo WANSQUAD, the world champion dance crew from Papua New Guinea, and later on,
that was the nicest day ever because most of the time we don't know where our friends were.
Pacific RSC workers gather in Mount Maunganui for their inaugural Sports Day. An expert in Pacific politics says regional leaders will have their dance cards full at the Forum Summit in Tonga next week. Massey University Security Studies Associate Professor Anna Poles says this is because this year will be the first time since the pandemic that dialogue partners like the United States and China get to meet face-to-face with forum leaders. Ms. Powell says some of the top agenda items will be the ongoing unrest in New Caledonia, Japan's Fukushima-treated nuclear waste water release and climate change, with UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres also making a special appearance. I spoke with Anna Poles on Friday as Pacific leaders and their delegations started arriving in the kingdom.
The meeting next week in Nuku'alofa is going to be it's going to be incredibly crowded, busy meeting. I think it's worth noting that this will be the first meeting since COVID with the dialogue partners. So Pacific leaders' dance cards are going to be very full as a consequence of the number of countries who are going to be attending. Those are non-forum member countries and the dialogue partners and other special guests as well, such as Turkey. So, but in terms of the agenda itself, without a doubt, New Caledonia, Kanaka New Caledonia, is going to be top of the agenda, not least because the Forum Troika mission has been deferred by the New Caledonian government. So, it will certainly be an issue that will be discussed in terms of how to plan forward and the role of the forum moving forward with respect to New Caledonia. It's also an opportunity for the New Caledonian government delegation to talk about the issues with forum members without France in the room. So that's a really, really important opportunity there. In addition to other issues, we're likely to see something on an agenda item on Fukushima. For instance, that was raised at the Forum Foreign Ministers meeting earlier this month. And we'll also, of course, climate change will certainly be on there with the UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres being at part of the forum. And then you were likely to see a number of other sort of a standard kind of agenda items, updates on the review of the regional architecture, for instance, update on the 2050 strategy for the Blue Pacific continent implementation, and an update on Fijian Prime Minister Sitiveni Rabuka's proposed concept of an ocean for peace.
At the last forum, the biggest news item in the end was a bilateral arrangement, the Falapele Union between Australia and Tuvalu. Are there any interesting bilateral conversations already sort of tipped?
Well, of course, there is, again, Australia's initiative, the Pacific Policing Initiative, which has been was discussed at the Forum Foreign Ministers meeting. And whilst there was some discussion that Australia may seek a regional mandate for the Pacific Policing Initiative at this forum, it is likely that it'll be more low-key, given that a number of key members of the forum family, such as Solomon Islands, raised concerns about it publicly at the Foreign Foreign Ministers meeting. So that probably would have been the big ticket sort of item that people were keeping an eye on, but that's likely to be more low-key at this stage whilst there's broader consultation and support being built for it.
A few leaders didn't make it to the last forum. Any absences that we know of confirmed so far?
Not that I'm aware of. It's certainly worth noting that this will be Prime Minister Christopher Luxon's first forum And he goes into this really with a strong reliance on Foreign Minister Winston Peters as the Pacific Point person on this. And we saw that very clearly in Prime Minister Luxon's first foreign policy address that he gave at the Lowy Institute last week, where he really leaned on Minister Peters' language around the Pacific Reset and more in the Pacific Reset 2.0. So that'll be how Prime Minister Luxon navigates these relationships and conversations is going to be something to watch for us here in Aotearoa.
Despite the leaders' insistence on pursuing a zone of peace, there has been quite a lot of conflict in the region over the past few years. Charting a way forward to sort of achieving this aspiration of a zone of peace, do you think that includes the more hawkish approach, I guess, to sort of security by a show of strength and building up the security capabilities in different parts of the region, or a more diplomatic approach?
It's a really interesting question, Koroi, and I think we've spoken about this before, actually, is, this aspiration of an ocean of peace is certainly by no means misplaced at all, and it's a reflection of key themes throughout Pacific Islands Forum regional declarations, from the Bikitawa through to the Boy Declaration and certainly the 2050 strategy. But there's a real challenge here: is how do you call for an ocean of peace, call for sort of demilitarization, and yet at the same time strengthen your bilateral security relationships in order to meet your security challenges, such as illegal, unreported, unregulated fishing, HADAR, countering transnational crime, drug trafficking, and so forth, all of which have a very strong security component to it. So it's a really tense balance between the two. But what this is potentially an opportunity for the forum to very clearly put a red line in the sand, so to speak, and potentially explore a type of code of conduct. The forum could look to ASEAN, for instance, and look at those experiences around developing a code of conduct. But I also think that as part of the review of the regional architecture, part of which will look at potentially a tiered system for dialogue partners. This is very much about managing those geopolitical rivalries, and the review of the regional architecture is a key avenue, a key mechanism for seeking to manage those geopolitical rivalries in the region. And the new Secretary-General, Baron Wanga, has certainly made it very clear since he assumed the top job at the forum that he is seeking to really ensure that geopolitics does not disrupt regionalism and regional security.
Meanwhile, as Pacific leaders gather in Tonga, a Kanak youth on the front line in New Caledonia is calling on the United Nations for humanitarian support. It's been just over 3 months now since violence broke out in the capital Noumea, and the death toll is now at 11, including indigenous Kanak youth and police. A young person who requested anonymity out of fear for his life told Lydia Lewis people are hungry and are losing hope for the future.
Everyday people are suffering. They need an answer from all the politics and institutions. Other people, they are looking here for food, looking for what is my future because I lost my job. From every side, Kanak side or European side, it's the same thing. That's why we need to help people. We need to provide everything for the future of the people here. And we need humanitarian help from each country who wants to help New Caledonia for that. We need an assistance from the UN as well for that. Because here we are looking for food.
Papua New Guinea dance sensations WANSQUAD have returned home after winning the World Hip Hop Championship. They are the first Pacific Island team to win the adult division. Tiana Haxton caught up with them before their final flight home.
Up next, from Papua New Guinea, WANSQUAD.
The team first came together 6 years ago with the dream of representing Papua New Guinea on the international dance stage. The team's manager Pia Ning says flying their flag on stage was a dream come true.
We're just a group of boys, just having fun, living our dream, enjoying everything that comes our way, any opportunities that comes our way, and we're here today now being world champs. So it's definitely something we didn't really imagine, but something we're very grateful for, and excited to see what doors open for us now.
This is the fourth time the squad have competed in the championship. They're consistently placed in the top 12, even bagging fourth place last year. Dancer Fred Matthews says their result last year prompted them to push even harder this year for a placing. To get there, the team has been sacrificing personal time and juggling busy work schedules.
Our main goal was to stay in top 3, not knowing that we're going to get the first place gold medal. So this year was really hard for all of us. I think practice-wise, we had issue individually, like work, family, and like stuff, personal issues. But we had it together.
David Chi reflected on the moment they were announced as the world champions. He says the team were overwhelmed by emotion as they realised they were the first Pacific Island team to ever win the competition. Chi says support and congratulations from neighbouring Pacifica countries are flowing in online and they don't know how to react.
We don't know how it feels to be like a champion. It's something new for us boys, and like for us to really make it to the top and represent, like being a Pacific and representing. It's something special for us boys.
Lloyd Nadil says they realised they represented more than just their own dreams to perform internationally.
We were just overwhelmed. And then you start to think like you don't just represent yourself, you represent your family, your friends, your country, and to see if you're going to win this for your country, like that weighs a lot, and it just brings out this huge ball of emotions. And it's crazy when you run up there on stage and then you see your flag behind you going up.
The team manager says they hope their achievement on the world stage inspire more Pacific Island dance squads to take up the challenge and compete.
We don't like being the only ones there, but we definitely want to see a full army of us, Pacifica, coming together and representing. We hope to inspire and hope more doors arise for us. And more opportunities come through. So we're very excited to see what the future holds for WANSQUAD and our dance community back home.
WANSQUAD arrived home as world champions on Wednesday night, welcomed by family, friends and supporters from the community.
Yeah, Papua New Guinea, make some noise for WANSQUAD!
Pacific workers participating in the recognised seasonal employers scheme in the Bay of Plenty want an annual sports day as part of their calendar. This is after more than 300 workers converged on Blake Park in Mount Maunganui for the inaugural event on Thursday. The sports festival was jointly organised by the Bay of Plenty Rugby Union and New Zealand Kiwi Fruit Growers Incorporated. Elias Tora was there and filed this report.
While the competition on the pitch was fierce, the friendship and fellowship between workers on the sidelines was the highlight of the day. Fijian worker Ratupedeli Lavanivalu from Naitasiri and works for Eastpac says the day helped them forget about the pressure of missing their families back home.
Well, we enjoyed it very much. We thank the Bay of Plenty Rugby for this opportunity to have us come and enjoy ourselves. It's been long staying in New Zealand, missing our family back at home, because most of the boys and our sisters comes from the village in Fiji, some from the islands. Working here, it's very new.
Ratupedeli says the event has also given them the chance to meet others from their own countries who are working in the area.
Yes, actually, that's something that's really enjoyable for us also, because we come to meet our brothers and sisters that we don't work with. They work from other companies that are here, so some of us, we are relatives, but we don't know we are here. We really love to be done it annually so that everyone can come together and everyone can represent the company that they are working.
Ni Vanuatuan Colin Sham, who works for Bay Kiwi Fruit, agrees it is a day where workers have been able to have fun with fellow countrymen and women.
That was the nicest day ever because most of the time we were coming here, we don't know where our friends were. And we all do the busy working. This day bring us to see each other. Sometimes we know, oh, my uncle, my dad, my auntie was there, but you do not see him. But this give us an opportunity to meet our friends, even our family. And sometimes we were shocked to see another, oh, you're here too. So thanks for the committee to make that opportunity for us to come together.
Bay of Plenty Rugby Board Chairman Scott Carl says they were excited to be working with the RSC stakeholders on a program aimed to honour the workers' achievements.
Just recognising the RSC community in the Bay of Plenty with all the horticulture and bringing an opportunity for them to come and play some games in different sports. We've had great community support from the different organisations, netball and soccer, and obviously rugby that we can help facilitate.
Ezra Schuster, the Regional Public Service Commissioner for Wairiki Bay of Plenty, says having the Sports Day was a celebration.
Today is significant because, you know, Pacific people, we love to laugh, we love to celebrate, we love sport. So today really is a celebration, and it's wonderful thinking about today as a harvest because it's a universal thing. You know, when we harvest things, no matter whether you be in the Pacific or whether you be in Africa or Asia, when you harvest, you celebrate. And so today's a celebration of that. So today's significant, and sport is a powerful way of bringing people together.
As to the results, ISPEC dominated the on-the-field competition, claiming both the men's sevens rugby and mixed volleyball titles. WANSQUAD, with Ni Vanuatu players dominating the composition of its teams, claimed the men's football title. All in all, the workers gave the event a big thumbs up and said they would support having the event held annually.
That's Pacific Waves for today. For all episodes, head over to rnz.co.nz/Pacific. We're also on Spotify, Apple and iHeartRadio. From myself and the RNZ Pacific team, Mo Nofoa.